I'm caught in a painfully confusing situation. My ex and I were together for 2.5 years until January 2021. So this past January, they broke up from a 2-year relationship. Our main issue revolved around the uncertainty of where I would end up for medical school while I was applying. She is attending graduate school in LA and was unable to simply move with me, so we were left with the prospect of 4 years of long distance, which both of us were unsure about. So much was up in the air, and it fueled her anxiety. We couldn't hold it together, but when we broke up, we left open the possibility of getting back if I ended up being admitted to a school in LA. Well, 6 months after the breakup, that is exactly what happened. I was then planning to reach out to her to try and rekindle the relationship, but 2 weeks after I was admitted, she reached out to me first. Below is the exchange. She sent me a link to a new Hulu series just before this. Okay, so I'll be her, you be him. Okay, you ready?
Okay, ready.
Also, checking in to see how everything is going. I hope med school worked out, and if not, screw him.
In fact, I've been meaning to talk to you about this if you're up for it. Also, understand if not, developments have been very recent.
Of course, I'd love an update. Sounds like good news.
Can I call you on Friday or Saturday?
So now we go back to the email. I have not heard back from her since my last text and feel hurt and confused. I guess the message is the lack of a message. But why check in about my school situation and agree to talk? I care deeply about this girl, but this behavior feels shitty. For context, we were both 28 and have known each other since high school, over a decade. We were not talking prior to her reaching out. Appreciate any insight. So what do you think?
I think he's overreacting for sure. He didn't say that he was in LA.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? She doesn't know that you're in LA, so this to her is just an ex-boyfriend who she can't be with, being like, let's talk on the phone and catch up. And she's probably thinking, I don't want to like have feelings for this guy because I can't. We live in a different location. She's obviously thinking about you if she sent you a link to a Hulu thing. I think you should have said more in text. I don't deal with this. The person that says like, I need to talk to you on the phone gives me so much anxiety. Like, just give me a heads up.
Yeah, it's interesting because we get a lot of women that write in. This is a man writing in about an ex, and when the women write in, it is like, here's all the information. We'd be reading an email for 6 days. It'll give us so much information that there's nothing to be read into. They're like, this is what's going on. This is what's going on. This is from a man, and he is being vague even with us. Like,
yeah,
the idea that like I'm caught in a painfully confusing, like he doesn't want to even open up to us, which should show us how he's kind of being with her. He likes her still. The idea that they were together for 2.5 years until January, and then their main issue revolved around the uncertainty of where I would end up for medical school while I was applying. She is attending graduate school in LA and was unable to simply move with me, so we were left with the prospects of 4 years long distance, which both of us were unsure about. It sounds like she was a little bit more unsure about this than you. Like, it sounds like someone here didn't want to make this happen. So much was up in the air and fueled her anxiety.
Yeah. I also feel like this relationship took place mostly through a pandemic. So was she going to school in person? I don't think so. Not in LA.
And that's the thing. It's like, but when we broke up, we left open the possibility of getting back if I ended up getting admitted to school in LA. Like, to me, this person feels let down by like how the other person acted in the breakup. I think they're afraid that like this breakup wasn't, this breakup wasn't just because of the distance. They're kind of realizing that now because. Don't you think that these texts, like, I agree with you, like these vague texts where it's like, call me this Friday or Saturday. It's like, don't we know?
Why?
We dated for 2 years. Just say it. Like, get it out. Call me now. What's going on? Why are we making, and it's like, to me, the emailer is tiptoeing around the idea of hearing that that possibility of getting back together isn't a possibility anymore. and they're not being open with their feelings because they're afraid of getting crushed, which I totally understand.
I totally understand that as well. I will maybe, yeah, the relationship seems like it could have worked because it seems like, I mean, she was probably going to school virtually, I would think. Like, if they broke up in January 2021, that was like in the height of when people were still at home. And that's where my confusion comes from. She could, like, it definitely could have panned. I don't know. I had friends that did long distance for like 4 years in different countries. And if you want it to work, it's terrible, but it will work.
And I think I totally agree. And I think that the emailer is coming to this conclusion in the most painful way possible, like the slow rip of a Band-Aid, because he writes, I have not heard back from her since my last text, and I feel hurt and confused. I guess the message is the lack of message, but why check in? This guy has dreamt up, and I don't think he's crazy for doing this. We all do this. He dreamt up the perfect scenario. The perfect scenario where he's saying, you know, I reach out, she reaches out about a Hulu show. Here's my chance to let her know I'm coming back. Hey, I'll call you this Friday. And in his mind, she should be so pumped about this call that's coming, and she should say, no, I can't wait. What is it? It's about the med school. I can't wait to hear this information. And then she doesn't live up to the dreamed up scenario. And you go, and now he's hurt by that because it's a realization that, like, he kind of wants her to do more work to, you know, he doesn't want to get hurt. So he's like putting all the work on her. And when she doesn't do it, now he's saying, well, I'm hurt by this. It's like, dude, you have to say to her,
500 Days of Summer. It's like,
yes.
Yeah, it's very romanticizing, I think, things that maybe you have read wrong, which I get it. I heavily do that. So I get it, but also will tell you it's gonna just be disappointing. Like, that call's not gonna go how you want it to go.
No.
And it's you tell her you're in LA via text in a couple weeks. Be like, if you want to get a drink, just so that you can, like, really close that door. But it sounds like for her the door is closed. And I think also there's guys and girls operate. Girls will send someone a Hulu link even if they don't want to fuck them. Men will send someone a Hulu link if they want to fuck them, or if it's like and it's really stupid and funny. You know what I mean? Like, I think because in his mind, he's probably like, why would she send me this message if she's not interested? But people out there will send messages like that and just be genuine about that.
In his mind, here's my shot to let her know that I'm coming back to LA and we can finally be together, because he writes it in the last sentence. For context, we're both 28, have known each other since high school, over a decade. We were not talking prior to her reaching out. So he's like, she's reached out. Here's the opening where she shows that she liked me. So now I can tell her that I still like her and call me on Friday, because now she's reaching out. And then he's realizing slowly, and that's why he's writing here, that reach out wasn't as romantic as he wished it was. And I think this is kind of the theme of this episode of the podcast, is like, you got to be purposeful with your actions. Like, it's going to hurt. It's going to be hard. It's going to be awkward. But, like, this guy is saying, I'm coming back to LA and I want to get back together. Our problems are solved. And he doesn't say that. He's waiting for her to go, finally, our problems are solved. And when she didn't do that, he's left disappointed. And it's like, of course you are. You're going to be disappointed slowly or quickly. How do you want it to be done?
Yeah. Or she's seeing someone, and that's why she didn't respond, because she didn't want to be like, I'm seeing someone, and then you be like, I'm not. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I would see her confusion. And if she says, I'm seeing someone, then you're like, well, what were you thinking this conversation was going to be? I'm just catching up. And if she doesn't say that, and then you have the conversation and she mentions that she's seeing someone, you're like, why would you not mention that you're seeing someone?
Yeah, so, I think plainly it becomes like, you know, there's like, we don't know what's going on with her. She could be seeing someone. She could just not be into it anymore. But, like, him playing this, like, game of, like, well, she's got to show she likes me, and then I show her that I like her. It ain't going to get you anywhere. It's only going to get you confusion, which is where he wrote in the first place.
Yeah, totally.
Don't forget to like the video you just watched. I have many more. Subscribe to the channel right now. Like and subscribe, like and subscribe, like and subscribe, you fool. There's even a bell you can click to. Now you've got your week set Monday through Friday. I'm here for you.